Hi crocheters of the world. In this tutorial I want to show you how you can create beautiful cuff bracelets with the jasmine stitch worked in rounds. This is the jasmine stitch and this is how is worked in rounds. I did the tutorial time ago, and you have you can find it on my channel in the playlist named Fancy Stitches. Yes, okay, but I also put the link on this video so you can find it easier. Now, to make the larger one, because as you can see I made one that it's large and one that it's a little bit smaller, and I want to show you how to create the design, so the entire flower on the large one. The large one is worked with 2 rounds of jasmine stitch. So you'll see in the tutorial where I explained the jasmine stitch how to work it in rounds, that you begin with this part and you go on with 2 rounds. This is worked with 1 round only. So the design of the flower, it's only a half flower, so I worked only 2 petals over 2 petals, and it seems to be a little heart, so it seems there seem to be little hearts, as you can see, and it's really nice and cute these 2. And this is with the entire flower, so only 2, as you can see, only 2 petals, and this is with entire design of the petals, so it's the entire design of the flower. Okay, but now I want to begin with the flower, with the border, sorry. And here I have a headband worked with the jasmine stitch with the same pattern, but I made a headband. So if you want to, you can make headbands or belts if you want to with this design. Now I worked this with a cable cotton thread number 5, Italian or European, I don't know, number 5, and with a 2mm hook, and I will work the border with a thinner cotton thread and another metallic thread, this one here, which is golden thread, and it's really nice. As you can see here, I worked, it's really nice, gives a nice and fancy effect of our bracelet. Now you just go on and work all around to fit your cuff, of course, for the bracelet. And it must be a even number of clusters, because you'll see, if you don't know how to work the jasmine stitch, just watch the video first, the tutorial of the jasmine stitch, and then you'll understand what am I talking about here. So work the first round of clusters with the put a number and a even number of clusters, of course, for the basic actually round, the initial round, and then 2 more rounds. Okay, now for the border we insert the hook in between 2 clusters, so we have these clusters here edging the bracelet, this, and we insert the hook in between them like this. I will begin here because I want to work the tail too. Okay. And I want to work the border and the flowers with 2.5 millimeters hook, so I use a little bit larger hook. Okay, now chain 1, just chain 1, and insert the hook around the last triple crochet of the cluster like this, and work 4 single crochets. 1, 2, 3 and 4. So 4 single crochets. Now skip into the next chain here in between the clusters and work a slip stitch. Then again around the next triple crochet here of the cluster, work 4 single crochets. 3 and 4. Oops. Again, in between the clusters, into the chain here, work a slip stitch and go all around the bracelet to work this border. 2, 3 and 4. So 4 single crochets around the triple crochet and slip stitch in between the clusters. Really easy, and you'll see the flower is easy too. This is so my idea, something that I came out with. It's really, really nice, I think. And continue on with the first part of the border. Of course, you can choose to work only the first part of the border, so this part, or the entire part. So we will continue on, as you can see, on the third. We will come back on the third triple crochet of the cluster, but this is something that I will show you later. Now I just want to finish the round, and I'll be back to show you how to continue on. 3 and 4, and slip stitch in between the clusters. So I finished the border here, and now you can, as I said, you can choose to make only this upper part of the border if you want to, and in this case you just have to wait until I go on and finish the next part. For the next part I am like this. I turn my work like this and search for, we have the cluster with 3 triple crochets, so for the third one, this is the first one where we worked the border. Now this is the second and this is the third, so I will just insert my hook around the third and work my first single crochet, then one more, another one, and the last one, so 4, and the same thing here, like this slip stitch. Okay, again around the third triple crochet of the cluster, so the last one, 3 and 4. Work 4 single crochets and insert the hook into the chain in between them, and like this here you have to go out in between the clusters, pull the yarn and slip stitch to join, and continue on with 4 more single crochets, 3, 4 single crochets around. So again I will show you slip stitch in the same chain where you slip stitch for the upper part of the border, and here in between the clusters pull the yarn and slip stitch, and continue on around the next cluster, so the next triple crochet, 3 and 4. And as you can see, we have the border, almost the entire border. I think it looks prettier with the entire border. Here on my headband I just work a part, as you can see, so I don't work this one. Okay, and go on, then work the bottom part in the same manner that we are working actually this one. I will complete the bottom part too, this part and the bottom part, and then I will be back to show you how to work the flowers. So here in between them and like this. Hope it's clear. It looks complicated, but it is not. 3 and 4. Okay. So I complete my border, my second part of the border, and now I want to begin with the flowers. And for the flowers we will work first one part all around, as we did actually with the border, and another part into a second step. So what am I saying? One part I begin here, I want to begin here, just like this, then I will go all like this. Now I want to begin by inserting the hook, because we want to skip here in the middle. Just watch me. And as you can see, one flower has 6 petals, and we will begin like this around the first petal here. Work 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now insert the hook in the middle, go back, pull the yarn and slip stitch. And now let's work on this part, so on the next petal actually. 1, 2, 3 and 4. Okay, now insert the hook here and like this. I hope you can see what am I doing here. I will continue on here on this part, then like this. So pull the yarn and slip stitch and work on the next flower actually here. 1, 2, 3, 4 single crochets around. I show you what I have. So I began here, go here and here. I don't know how to explain it to you better, but it's a video tutorial, so you can see, just watch what am I doing. Okay, now insert the hook in the middle of the flower and we want to continue on here, so it's here that we want to slip stitch. And as I said, I want to continue on here on the next petal. I am working only, as I said, a half of the flower. 2, 3 and 4. And now slip stitch here. And go back to the center of the flower on the opposite part of the petal with 4 single crochets. 2, 3, 4. Now slip stitch here in the middle and in between the 2 petals, like this. And slip stitch. And now we want to complete the other petal with 2, 3, 4, slip stitch here in between these 2, so insert the hook here and in between the 2 petals, pull the yarn and slip stitch and go back to the center around the last triple of the petal, triple crochet. 2, 3, 4 single crochets. Now again in the middle, in the center of the petal and here. Oops. This is something that is not good, so I'm really sorry I made a mistake, because we just want to, as I did here, we want to skip 2 petals, so then work like this. How can I explain it to you? So this is a complete flower, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then we skip 2 petals here and 2 petals here, and we work 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, as I did here. So my mistake was that I worked these two and we don't have to work. So when we finished this part, so from here 1, these two, we just have to skip this 4. So to skip these two, we insert the hook in the middle, and here we come out, pull the yarn and slip stitch, and now we work on this, because is this the flower that we work around, and we began with this part of the middle petal. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and now I am ready to insert the hook in the center and to come here, because I want to continue on this petal. So pull the yarn, oops, like this, slip stitch, and now, as I said, I kept these two and I want to continue on here on this petal. So around this triple crochet, that's why I came out with the hook in between these two petals. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now here under the border, slip stitch and go back around this triple. So the last one of our 3 triple crochets of the cluster. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And now in the center we insert the hook and we want to go out in between these two, this and this petal. Pull the yarn and slip stitch to join, and now continue on this petal. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Maybe it's not that easy. Okay, and now here under the border, in between the stitches, insert the hook and slip stitch, and we have to complete this second petal here, so around the last triple crochet of the cluster. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now into the center, and we complete, I just want to show you, we complete 2 petals. Can you see? Now we have to make this one, so this one in the middle, and we have to skip these 2 petals, so in between the finished petal and this one. Pull the yarn and slip stitch and work on this petal, inner, not inner, I don't know how to say, central petal. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now I just to stop and show you what I have maybe you will understand if I show you. I began here, so this is what I have. Skip 2, skip this 2, and now I want to work on this petal, then here, here, and here, and to skip this 2, and so on. And when I come back, I will complete the design in between the finished petal and the next one. But I don't want, this was my mistake, I don't want to go up, but I want to go in this one now, because I want to skip this 2. So here, 1, 2, 3, and 4. And now into the center, in between the 2 petals, slip stitch. And now, yes, I want to go on these 2 petals up here. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. Insert the hook here, up, slip stitch, and we have to come back on the last triple of the cluster with 4 single crochets, 1, 2, 3, and 4. And now in the center, insert the hook, come out in between the petals and slip stitch, and continue on the next petal, up here, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now I want to complete this, so to come back I will just want to slip stitch here, and I want to come back on this side of the petal with always 4 single crochets, 2, 4 single crochets, and slip stitch 3 and 4. So I complete 2 more petals. Now I have to move and to skip 2 petals as I did here. So I will work on my central petals. This is the first, but first of all, don't forget to slip stitch in the center and in between the petals. And now here, this is my central petal, and I want to skip these 2, so I will work this part of my central petal, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and slip stitch in the center, and here, can you see? Because I want to continue and to work on this center petal, then to work my 2 upper petals. So here, slip stitch and work 4 more single crochets on the second central petal, 2, 3, and 4. Now again, slip stitch into the center and in between these 2 petals, and go on and work your 2 petals here up on 2, 3, 4, slip stitch here and back on the last, around the last triple crochet of the cluster petal, 3 and 4. Now slip stitch in the center and come out in between the petals, and yes, slip stitch. And now complete the second petal, 1, 2, 3 and 4. Okay, now again here slip stitch and complete the second petal, 2, 1, 2, 3 and 4. Okay, so now it makes sense. And now what we have to do is to work on our central petals, just one side of each of them, because we want to skip 2 petals on the upper part. So these 2 petals we want to skip them, so we will work first slip stitch into the center here, and now we work on this part of the central petal, 1, 2, 3 and 4. Now in the center skip these 2 and here, because we want to work on the next petal, central petal, sorry, it's important, and we want to work here to skip the 2 petals, upper petals, 2, 3 and 4. And now we repeat this until we are back here. We complete and we finish actually here up. Let me finish this part and I will show you how to work the second, but the next part it's actually the same thing. If you understand this, I hope you will. You can then easy work the next one. Now, because I don't want to cut the yarn, I am here, I finished this petal, but I don't want to go up and to finish this one. I am here in the center and I just want to go back and to complete this part, the other part. So I'm here like this, and normally we have to complete the last petal here, but I don't want to, and I tell you why. I just turn it like this and insert the hook on the other part of the central petal and work 4 single crochets, and I will go back 3 and 4. I will go back and complete this part, and then now skip here like this, pull the yarn and slip stitch and work around this petal, center petal. So actually we complete the central petal, the 2 central petals here. We have 4. Now again we want to complete these 2. So as I said, now we work the same thing as we did worked first. Now we want to complete these 2 petals. 1, 2, 3 and 4, and here under the border insert the hook, oops, and slip stitch and come back around the last triple crochet of the petal. 2, 3, 4, insert the hook in the center, then come back in between the petals and slip stitch and complete your last petal of this first flower. 2, 3 and 4. Now we are up here. We have to slip stitch here under the border like this. Oops. No. Here. What I am doing here? And come back on the other part of the petal. Two, 3 and 4. And to finish, can you see all the flower? We have to insert the hook in the center, pull the loop, slip stitch again, and work the central, the other side of the central petal. 1, 2, 3 and 4. And now we can say we completed one entire flower, and here it is. And I will go on this part to complete all the flowers. And when I'll be here, because I will go on round, when I'll be here I will complete the last here, and that's all. Okay, so it's not easy, but it's not difficult, so you can give it a try if you like. Now insert the hook here into the petal, because now we can, and slip stitch and continue on this petal. We skip these 2, so we continue on around the central petal. You know, we worked only one part of the central petal, and now we have to work the second one. 3 and 4. And now the 2 upper petals, so into the center, slip stitch and around this petal, and actually we are repeating the same procedure, so if you understand the first part, the second it's really easy. Now here under the border, just try to work a slip stitch and go back around the last triple crochet of the petal to complete it. 3 and 4. Now into the center and again up to the second flower. 1, 2, 3 and 4. This is nice as a border too. Now in between here, slip stitch and go back to complete your second petal. 2, 3 and 4, like this. Now into the center, and we are into the center, and we are at the point that we have to skip the 2 petals. So we will work these 2 central petals. We just will complete them because we already worked the first part. 2, 3 and 4. Now into the center, and as I said, we want to skip these 2. We want to skip these 2 petals, so we will go on and work into this one, but I want to make a slip stitch here too. Okay, and I will complete the central petal. Let's say it's a really advanced thing to do, this project actually. Not all the jasmine stitch, but this part with the flowers. Okay, now go on and finish your cuff bracelet. So I almost finished, because if you remember, we have the last petal to complete. So I'm here, I completed this part, and now I have to skip here. So just pull the yarn and slip stitch, and here we are ready to complete the last part of our bracelet. 2, 3, 4. Now slip stitch here into this. Oops. Please, come on, I have just the last step here into this stitch, and yes, we can cut the yarn because we are ready. Cut the yarn and pull the yarn on the back side. And we did it. I did it. So this is the bracelet. It's really nice. I like it, not because I invented it, but because, I don't know, it's nice. Just tell me what you think. But the project is not easy. Maybe it is, I don't know. You will tell me. Please tell me. I really want to know your opinion. Maybe it's really difficult. Maybe I don't explain it well. I don't know. But that's it. Hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and see you at the next tutorial.